This sweet and innocent stray dog has been following this woman for 8 years now. Every morning, the dog would wait patiently for her to finish her work, and then they would go on an adventure together. But one day, before the woman could adopt him, the dog disappeared. Why? Let's find out in today's episode of our channel. There once lived a kind-hearted woman named Maria. She had a loving husband and 2 beautiful children. They lived in a small house with a big yard on the outskirts of town. One day while returning home from work, Maria noticed a tiny puppy in her yard. It was skinny and dirty, and it looked like it hadn't eaten in days. Feeling sorry for the puppy, she gave it some water and a piece of bread. The puppy lapped up the water and ate the bread as if it hadn't seen food in ages. After that day, the puppy kept coming back to the yard, hoping Maria would give him more food. Maria couldn't bear to see the puppy starving, so she started leaving some food and water out for him every evening. She named him Toby. One day, Toby didn't show up for his evening meal. Maria was worried, so she went out looking for him. She found him hiding under a bush, and when she tried to get close to him, he ran away. Maria didn't give up. She kept going back to the bush every evening, bringing him food and water and talking to him in a soft voice. Slowly but surely, she gained his trust, and after a few weeks, Toby became a regular sight around the house. As the seasons passed, Toby grew into a handsome dog. He was still a stray, though, and roamed the streets all day, returning to Maria's house only at night to eat the food she left out for him. Maria loved Toby, and even though she couldn't keep him as a pet because her husband was allergic to dogs, she continued to care for him. One day, Maria couldn't take it anymore. She wanted Toby to be a part of her family, so she decided to adopt him. She found a loving family for Toby who lived far away from her, and they agreed to come to her house that evening to pick him up. Maria was happy that Toby would finally have a real home. She couldn't wait to see how much he would enjoy playing with the other dogs in the family. Throughout the day, Maria kept glancing at the clock, waiting for her friends to arrive. When Toby saw how excited Maria was, he started wagging his tail and licking her hand. As the sun began to set, Maria put some of Toby's favorite treats in his bowl, and he quickly finished them. Then he went to the yard and waited patiently. Just as Maria had told him so many times before, every time the sun dipped below the horizon, Toby knew that meant it was time to wait for his new family to arrive. Maria came to the yard to join him, and they sat there side by side, watching the fireflies light up the sky. Soon, Toby sensed something was different. His tail stopped wagging, and he whimpered softly. Maria understood what he was feeling and tried to comfort him, but Toby just kept whining and wouldn't eat the treats from her hand. Finally, a car pulled up outside the house and a woman got out. It was the person who was going to adopt Toby. Maria felt a mix of happiness and sadness. She was glad Toby would have a home, but she was also sad to see him go. Still, she knew it was the right thing to do. She walked up to Toby and gently stroked his fur. "Don't worry, boy," she said softly. "You're going to a good home. You'll have plenty of toys and a warm bed to sleep in." Toby licked Maria's hand and wagged his tail slowly. He didn't understand what she was saying, but he could sense her emotions. Maria handed Toby over to the woman and said, "Here you go. I hope you'll take good care of him." The woman smiled and replied, "Of course. We've been waiting for him for a long time." Maria watched as they drove away. She waved goodbye until their car disappeared from sight. Then she turned back to the house, but she couldn't shake off the feeling that something wasn't right. She went back to the yard to check on Toby's bowl, but it was empty. It was strange because Toby always finished his treats in the evening. As the night wore on, Maria couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about Toby and wondering how he was doing in his new home. Just then, her phone rang. It was the woman who had adopted Toby. "Hello," she said. "I'm calling to tell you that we found something strange in your dog's mouth. There was a note in his collar. It says, 'Please take care of my dog. He is my best friend, and I can't imagine my life without him. If anything happens to him, I will die.' Signed, Billie Eilish." Maria was shocked. She didn't know anything about a note or a message hidden in Toby's collar. She had given him to this family because she thought it would be best for him. But now she wasn't so sure. Could this be a mistake? The next morning, Maria woke up early and went to the yard to leave Toby's food. But when she approached his bowl, she saw something that made her heart sink. It was empty. Maria had placed a whole bag of treats in the bowl the night before, and usually Toby would have finished them by now, but this time they were gone. She searched all over the yard, hoping to find Toby, but he was nowhere to be seen. Maria was worried. She knew Toby wouldn't run away because he was a loyal and gentle dog. So where could he be? Had someone taken him? Suddenly, she remembered the note the other family had found. Who was Billie Eilish? Why did she leave this message for Toby? And why did she give Maria's dog away? Maria picked up her phone and called the woman. "Hello. I was just calling to ask how Toby is doing," Maria said. "Oh, he isn't here," the woman replied. "What do you mean he isn't here?" Maria asked. "We gave him back to you yesterday. Didn't you get him back?" "No, we haven't had Toby since last night." "Did you let him out of the house?" Maria asked. "No. Why would we do that?" The woman sounded confused. "Well, if you didn't let him out and he's not in the house, then where could he be?" At that moment, both women were crying. They had no idea what had happened to Toby. Maria hung up the phone and rushed to her car. She had to find Toby. She drove around the neighborhood, calling his name, but there was no sign of him anywhere. As she was driving, she passed by the place where she first met Toby. It was the old abandoned factory near her house. Maria's heart skipped a beat. Could Toby be there? She parked her car and ran towards the factory. When she entered, she saw Toby hiding in a corner. He was scared and dirty, and he looked like he hadn't eaten in days. Maria felt a pang of guilt. She had meant to give Toby a good home, but she had sent him away without knowing what would happen. She knelt down in front of him and said, "Toby, I'm so sorry. I should never have given you away." Toby licked Maria's face and wagged his tail. He was happy to see her again, and he didn't seem angry or scared anymore. Maria hugged Toby tightly and promised to never let go of him again. From that day on, Toby became part of Maria's family. He would follow her everywhere, and they would spend their days playing fetch in the park and their nights cuddled up on the couch. Toby never forgot the pain of being abandoned, but Maria's love and care helped him heal. He knew he was home now, and that made him the happiest dog in the world. If you like this story, please share it with your friends and family. Thank you for watching.